it's difficult watching a documentary um, of the greatest singer of all time, and half of it is talking about basically her downfall. That's what's tough here. And as someone who loves Whitney, and I've seen a lot of her interviews, and there are things in here that I did not know that might actually shed light on potentially why things ended up the way they were. But yeah, so we start off with, I think we all know, she started in the church, and through the guidance of her mother, starts to slowly but surely make it into the industry, and she's like no other singer we've ever heard. Plain and simple. Also, I think this is actually a really pivotal detail in the documentary. Her parents being there, but not really being there for her as a kid. And so her and her brothers would kind of like be babysat throughout the years, because her mother, of course, was trying to make it in the industry. So she wasn't home, and then the father was doing what he was doing, which he was like working for the council or the state or whatever. So he was rarely home. So she didn't really have that foundation. Again, this is according to the doc. That home foundation growing up. So really, she relied on her brothers to protect her, which, come to find out that by 15, 16, her brothers and family is the one that got her on drugs. I don't think I ever knew that. Started off with weed, and then it slowly went into cocaine, and I'm just still shocked that usually with siblings, usually with family, they, especially if they see someone who has a talent, or especially just being a sister or the youngest sibling, they try to protect them from certain things. And the fact that it was the brothers that basically was the gateway to her drug use, that is sad, because it's just like, it's your sibling, it's your family, it's your brothers. Like, if they're not going to protect you, who's going to protect you? Who? And so to find that out, and then she's having this rise to fame, and she's getting all these awards and selling all these records, and then the Soul Train Awards, I want to say it was, the Soul Train Awards happened in the late 80s, and she gets booed out the building, which I forgot all about that. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about that. She gets booed out the building because, I did not know this either. Al goddamn Sharpton, for some reason, was protesting Whitney Houston. She was her songs were too white. They weren't soulful enough. She was catering too much to the pop crowd. I'm like, wow, like, for Al Sharpton, who have a variety of thoughts on Al Sharpton, but for someone that's supposed to be for social justice and civil rights and all that, to take time out your day to go after this black woman, an artist who's just trying to make music and entertain the people, and not like she's going out there and giving a bad message. She's just singing mostly great songs and love songs and fun songs. For Reverend Al Sharpton in the 80s to call her Whitey Houston, calling for a boycott of her because the black community felt like she wasn't black enough. That's crazy to me. It was like, wow, I forgot all about that. I'm like, and nothing hurts worse than your own people. You feel like your own people's not supporting you, right? And the thing is, I feel like she had a great balance of, she was doing pop records and R&B records. No different than Michael Jackson. No different than Prince. Like, there's no difference. Like, all your major artists, for the most part, did pop records and R&B records and soul records. All of them. Al Sharpton wasn't going at Michael. He wasn't going at Prince. Why did you going at Whitney? Why are you going at this black woman? That really bothers me. And I really feel away about that now. Like, every time I see now, I wish I did. Well, actually, I don't care. I never really cared for Al Sharpton anyway. I always thought he was a con artist for real. But, him and Jesse, maybe a little, not so much, but that's insane. That's insane. And I think that probably, I don't know when exactly that was, but that probably had a lot to do, or he just put he ignited a fire on the black community to where now at the Soul Train Awards, Whitney gets booed out the building, which I can't even imagine how she felt about that. What year was that? 89. This is 89. She's already did. This is 89. And so then that leads into her finding companionship in Bobby Brown, who, again, Whitney was made to be this, like they do all celebrities, this Christian cookie cutter, just pure entertainer, right? and so she then goes with Bobby, who is the exact opposite, this bad boy image, hood nigga, like, even though Whitney is from the hood. And so because Bobby resembles her brothers and where she comes from, she found comfort in someone who is probably more authentic and real than anybody she's really going to find in the industry or in her environment, because everybody's really fake. And so then she goes down that path, and now everybody's mad at her. So now the black community is mad at her because she's not soulful enough. And then the white community is probably feeling away because, you got with that rugged Bobby Brown. It's just like, damn, man. You just want to be yourself, and not everybody trying to tell you who to be and who to be with. It's like, damn. And so, again, it's telling a great story of how things develop over time in regards to how things turn out. But then she gets the movie The Bodyguard, which just skyrockets her to the moon. And I never really thought about it. Definitely go check out my Bodyguard reaction. I have me and my homie Sasha has that very high on the list of greatest soundtracks of all time. Go check out those videos as well. Then she gets The Bodyguard, and it was like, whoo! And like, it's almost like everybody forgot. You actually would have thought her doing a movie with a white man and a white man being a love interest would have like even made it people even more mad. But just like, I think people just, I almost feel like her getting with Bobby in real life with a black man, and like a rugged black man, almost kind of eased that within the black community, I guess. And people understood it was a movie. And again, because the soundtrack is the greatest ever. I Always Love You, I Run to You. Those songs are like some of the greatest vocal performances ever, that now people just completely forget about that. And now Whitney becomes like the biggest star ever. But then slowly but surely, Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown happens, and throughout the years, him getting in and out of jail, in and out of prison, trouble with the law, and all these different things are going on. And now you know how the tabloids do. Now they're trying to lump her in. Meanwhile, they also talk about her relationship with Robin. Robin, who wound up being her best friend since like teenager, since like I think her a summer job she got in like 15, 16. And they talk about that dynamic of how Robin was her ride or die, how Robin was a lesbian, and her brother has some very controversial things to say about Robin, which I feel like was very homophobic. He didn't out say it, but I felt it was very homophobic. I felt away about that. That wasn't cool. But Robin, who was really her rock, who was truly A1 day one for her, And now rumors start circling around about her and Robin being lesbian. And that was actually right before she got with Bobby. And Whitney has to deny that, even though behind the scenes, she was just doing whatever she wanted to do, really. Like, and I feel weird trying to label someone. Like, any day, it's not my place to label if someone is whatever, and it's not really my business. But I think that also is really important as well, because not only are you getting it from the black community with not being black enough, and then the white community, because you might have some things going on to where you're not pure or whatever, and so now you're getting it from them. But now you're having people trying to speculate if you're lesbian or not, and it's just like, what is this? What is the freaking entertainment industry? Like, what is society? Like, how we treat our stars is just still insane to me. Like, what does any of this matter? But anyway, that's just a side note. So yeah, Robin is there, but then Bobby comes into the scene, and they have this one scene in the documentary at the wedding where Bobby's breaking down crying, and Whitney's crying, and Robin's right there, like wiping Whitney's tears, and you could just, like, I don't know, maybe just, I'm looking into it, but you could just see the hurt in Robin's eyes, as it's almost like, I gotta give away my love to this man. Like, that's what it felt like, and that's how they set it up in the documentary. Not like, oh man. And so now again, Bobby is there, but then they have a child, Bobby Christina, and this is what starts to really break your heart. And this is near the middle of the movie, middle of the documentary on, is how much Bobby Christina wasn't really given a chance as Whitney basically dropped off Bobby Christina to her aunt for years while Whitney was out and about, doing her thing, and Bobby was out and about doing his thing. So Whitney wasn't really present for her daughter. And again, this is according to the friends and family around her. I tend to believe that. And so now you have that to where she has his daughter and it's not really there for her. It's rough. And it makes a lot of sense watching. I'm only a few episodes into Being Bobby Brown, the documentary reality TV show kind of thing, that the Whitney and Bobby did in 0405. And you see Bobby Christina, it's like she doesn't really ever look happy. Now, that could be an abundance of things, but it's one episode where she just seemed very just down and out, and Whitney's telling Bobby, can you just leave her alone? And it's just a thing to where just like, man, who knows what's really going on in that brain of hers. But yeah, just it's very sad. But also, Whitney did try to bring Bobby Christina on the road with her when she could, which also isn't, I don't know if that's the greatest thing either, but Whitney did try, but it's difficult when you are a parent, when you're a child of a celebrity, right? It's just difficult. So now they're talking about that, and this is where they start. By the middle to the end is when they really start getting into the drug use of Whitney and her struggling with her marriage and struggling with her success, and just it's tough. It really is tough. Her just trying to battle her demons. Then you have the father, because she signs this $100 million record deal with, I think, Arista, I think, or Ellie. What was Ellie Reed's? I think it was Arista. And then, just within a short period of time, her dad. Oh, before we get to that, Robin is seeing, again, that's her perspective of how destructive Bobby is being with, kind of how destructive and how influential he's being towards Whitney, and it gets to a point to where Bobby and Robin are like butting heads, trying to get the affection of Whitney and trying to do that. And so Robin eventually gets to a point to where it's like, it's either me or Bobby. And Whitney's like, well, and she doesn't even talk to Robin. Robin talks to, I guess, Whitney's assistant. And tells her assistant, like, it's either Bobby or me. And Whitney's like telling her assistant to tell Robin, well, tell her I accept her resignation letter. Which I'm like, no. Because Robin is the only one there that's, I'm not there, but they give at least the perspective that Robin was the only one that was really down for Whitney. Like I said before, like she was the one that was trying to truly protect her from all the messiness and everything that was going on the best she could anyway. She was the one that was setting up meetings and stuff and her image and what she was doing. But now that's gone because Whitney has chosen her family, chosen her marriage over Robin, which also did bring up her parents getting divorced, which also really took a toll on her and her brothers. Like, there's just a lot going on. But then we get to the $100 million deal that Whitney Houston signs in like 99, and just shortly after that, the father becomes before that the father becomes now like the full control of Whitney's career and the manager. But then it's found out that her father is actually stealing from her. Like, Whitney's father is actually stealing from her, and she has to let her father go, and eventually her father sues her for $100 million. It's just like, oh my God. It's like everywhere you turn, people are trying to take from you and exploit you. And I cannot imagine. I think that was revealed in the interview with Diane Sawyer. I think Whitney barely talked about it. But it's like, oh my God. That has to be, like, I cannot imagine what that's like for your own father to sue you for money when he was already stealing from you. Which also goes to a lot of her family members were involved in her business, and she was basically paying her family. Like, all of them. Damn near all of them. So she's really just an ATM for her family throughout most of the 90s and even the 80s. So I can't even imagine that toll that took on her. And then Bobby Brown is feeling insecure, and he's again in and out of jail and feeling insecure because he used to be this big star, and now after The Bodyguard, he's now just Whitney Houston's husband. He's no longer, Mr. Prerogative, and no longer the former lead singer of New Edition. His star fades away, and now he's feeling away and acting out. Just a lot going on. They do show some dope behind the scenes of her in the studio, which I've been trying to find stuff, and it's just rare. You can't really find it. Like, maybe 30 seconds here, maybe 10, 15 seconds there. But it's hard to find behind the scenes studio footage of Whitney Houston. It's like, But, yeah. So they do show some dope stuff behind the scenes with her and how she's trying to really find self because her nickname that was given at a very young age was Nippy. And it shows that it's just almost kind of scary behind the scenes footage of her, like, literally talking about how she's two different people. She's Whitney and Nippy, and it's easy for Nippy to call Whitney, but it's hard for Whitney to get to Nippy, and how she's trying to toggle between these two personalities of the people that the world knows and who she truly is. And it was really scary while she's smoking a cigarette. Like, I did not realize how much she smoked cigarettes. A lot. Like, I don't know how she kept the voice the way she did for all those years, because she was smoking cigarettes a lot. But yeah, it kind of gets to her head where she has to well, her father dies. Again, they were not in a good place when he dies, but they're just going through money problems. She's going in and out of rehab because when she does the Diane Sawyer interview, it's like, oh no, when she does the Michael Jackson tribute, the 30th anniversary, that's when the cat was out of the bag that she has some type of problem. And she does the Diane Sawyer interview like a year or so later, and it was not a good interview. It wasn't really a good interview, to be honest. And now the cat's out the bag, and now the whole world is now making fun of her about her drug use, and she's very honest about her drug use, which I'm actually shocked she was, but she tried to deny it multiple times before that. And she's just struggling with addiction and struggling with drugs, and it's just a lot. And then she gets divorced in 2006, and now she's losing her voice. She can't do any records anymore. It's just very sad and tough to see. The drug use took a toll on her voice finally, and but also she's broke. So now she's trying to go on tour while broke, and so now she's struggling, and it's not a good look. So then she thankfully finds the movie Sparkle and finds purpose, and she starts to look and feel like the old Whitney, which I've never actually seen that movie, by the way. It just too. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Like like this is it. It took me a long time to watch. This is it. Maybe one day we'll finally watch Sparkle, but I can't do it. I don't know when I'll be ready. But yeah. So she looks like, it sounds like the old Whitney for the most part, and then the movie's done. It's just getting on its praise again, and everybody's happy for it. But then she has to go back to her home, and throughout the movie they talk about the demons that she's carrying, and oh my God, this one part. Oh my God, this one part. I don't even know if I feel comfortable talking about it without, but this is what like stopped me in my tracks. So near the end of the documentary, Whitney has I forget who it was, but this friend who's I believe a singer, and how much she's on her to keep the daughter or keep her child on the road with her, and because she eventually reveals to, I think, a personal assistant or to one of her aunts that she was molested as a child, and it was by a woman. Not only is by a woman, it was by Dionne Warwick's sister Dee Dee, who is basically a family member, like distant cousin, I believe is the relation. And I'm like, what? And it was at a young age. And I'm like, oh. And also it's revealed that her brother also was molested, which it never revealed who it was, but it was also by a woman. And so if you kind of connect the two, you could probably guess that, Dionne Warwick's, sister Dee Dee molested these two, which may actually explain the drug use that her brother had, that eventually she would get herself. And maybe those are the demons. There's a lot going on with her. Like, there's so much stuff going on with her, but that also might explain the demons that she was carrying that she never actually talked about ever. It didn't talk to her mother because she knew her mother would probably go crazy, and who knows what she would do if she found out that and who it was. So she's carrying that burden, and she's questioning, according to her friends, now she's questioning her sexuality and what did she do to deserve that. And it's just like, damn, like, hot damn. Now the drug use makes sense. Again, who knows what else was going on that we don't know about, that we might never know about, but it's like, man, it's just a lot. That's a lot to carry on your back while still trying to be a celebrity, still trying to be Whitney Houston, and you don't know who Whitney Houston is. And then we get to the end, when she basically drowns, and that's pretty much it. She drowns in the tub. Of course, nobody was there until she's discovered. So I guess the assumption was, because I never actually looked into it, that she might have took something. I think she did. Did she take something while she was in the tub? Because I can't remember, to be honest. I knew that she drowned, but I can't remember, like, did she take a substance? Heart disease and cocaine use. So even though she was trying her best to go to rehab and do all that, she couldn't get rid of that demon. It's scary because there's an interview I guess she did that they played throughout the documentary of her having this dream of this devil or this demon keep trying to chase her, and she wakes up out of breath, but she kept saying the demon never got to me. It's just like, oh God. So yeah, that's a documentary, and I said it throughout. Well, I said it near the end that I really feel bad that doing a documentary on Whitney Houston, the greatest singer of all time, she's relegated to the second part of the documentary being relegated to her drug use and her addictions. And it's like, damn, it's sad and a shame. Like, I wish there was a way to tell that, but also there's so much that they didn't really go into, really. I wish you could have went more into her creating certain albums, creating The Bodyguard, the soundtrack, like creating My Love Is Your Love, that whole, doing Cinderella with Brandy, doing The Preacher's Wife, and doing Waiting to Accept. I wish you could have went into that, but there's a telling scene in the documentary where Bobby Brown is in it very briefly, which I think we know why. Because the person that's doing it goes to Bobby talking about, can you talk about Whitney's drug use? And Bobby's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about it. And so he's like, we don't need to talk about that. Which part of me was like, come on, Bobby. But then while I'm watching it, I'm like, he's kind of right. But the interviewer was like, well, we got to explain how she died. Like, that's all a part of her journey and how she got to where she got to. So it's just very tough, man. It's very tough. She's only 48. I forgot how old she was when she passed. She was only 48. Like, God damn. Only 48. And then, again, near the end, they talk about Bobby Christina and the things that she saw and what she had to endure and her slitting her wrist and not making it more than 3 years after her mother died, and how Bobby Christina never really had a chance. Dang, that just breaks your heart. It's like, damn. So, man. Yeah, this was tough, man. It's like if all these plethora of events never happened, how different would Whitney's life would have been. But we'll never know, because that's life, and sometimes you can't control certain things, and it's like, damn, man, she just went through a lot. But even in that, she's still, I am shocked. Like, she was able to keep her voice as long as she did and keep going the way she did. Like, I'm shocked by that, because it's just like, bro, she was pushing through it all. She was pushing through. So she was strong. I want to end this saying that she was strong. We all have our problems. We all have our demons and vices and things that we're going through. And through it all, she was strong. It's just sometimes your troubles catch up to you, and that's basically what happened here. But yeah, that was a Whitney Houston documentary. Watch along. Hope you enjoy it. For my YouTube people, go on patreon.com/Hayes Soundwaves to watch it. But yeah, let me know how you felt about it, and your thoughts as well. If anything I didn't cover or anything you want to expound on, I'll be in the comments watching and responding. But like, comment, subscribe, share, things are the things. I'll miss you, Whitney. Damn, miss you, girl. But ain't gotta go home. Do gotta get to stepping. Peace.
People are fickle. They go for what's new and what's hot, and what they think is today, and next week it'll be something
right,
else.
and that's what you gotta do, is stick with what you know is good for you.
Right.
And never mind all that other shit. Janet Jackson, she let the bitch have it.
This we're gonna have to edit.
Oh, why you got
I mean, but it's so gimmicky. I mean, people sang.
People wanted to sing.
Yeah.
They want to hear singing.
Yeah. Paula Abdul ain't shit now. One thing, Paula Abdul ain't shit.
What? Oh, y'all forgot she said
I mean,
that.
that girl is singing off key on the record. Yeah. Because she got a image that we all know ain't really true. In the business.
Did you tell me this was over? There ain't no use talking.